Hello, my name's Chris, and this is the story of a very special tree. Listen carefully, because maybe you have a friendship tree in your garden and you don't even know it. Mr. Yizmaz was a quiet man with a kind heart. One day he moved to a new house in a new town. It was a lovely place, but he didn't know anyone, which made him feel lonely. Sometimes, when he went out shopping, his neighbours would wave to him like this and say, "Hello there, and lovely day, and morning." But Mr. Yizmaz was shy, you see. He wanted to say hello or wave back, but all he could manage was a shy smile like this. His house had a little garden with an old apple tree right in the middle of the lawn. On warm summer afternoons, when he felt lonely, Mr. Yizmaz sat under the apple tree, listening to the humming of the insects and the twittering of the birds in the branches. Shh! He held his breath and sat very still as the squirrels played chase around the tree trunk. "You are lucky," he told the tree. "You have lots of friends." The tree sighed happily. When autumn came, there were lots of apples on the tree. They tasted juicy and sharp. "Very good for cooking," Mr. Yizmaz said to himself. "But what am I going to do with so many?" Then he heard his neighbour whistling to herself from the other side of the garden fence. It gave him an idea. The next day was Sunday, and Mr. Yizmaz got up early. He left a box of apples on each of his neighbour's doorstep with a little note that read, "Apples for you from Mr. Yizmaz." And then he went home. On Monday, there was a knock at his door. Knock, knock, knock. It was Mrs. Alvarez, his next-door neighbour. "Thanks for the apples," she said, beaming, and she gave him a mouth-watering homemade apple pie. On Tuesday, there was a knock at the door. "Hello, I'm Mr. Nesbitt, your neighbour from 2 doors down. Lovely of you to give me those apples." He gave Mr. Yizmaz 2 jars of chutney. On Wednesday, the door knocked again. It was Trudy Taylor from 3 doors down, holding baby Taylor in her arms. "We love the apples," said Trudy. "Nam-nams," said baby Taylor, and they gave Mr. Yizmaz an enormous apple cake. On Thursday, Doreen McLean from 4 doors down brought some yumptious apple and parsnip soup. And on Friday, Mr. Adiyinka from 5 doors down brought some taste bud tickling apple and banana bread. Then on Saturday, Maggie Shing from 6 doors down dropped in with her boisterous twins to say, "Thank you for the yummy apples, Mr. Yizmaz. We baked them in the oven and we gobbled them all up." Mr. Yizmaz was pleased. He didn't feel lonely anymore. Now he knew lots of people, and it was all because of his apple tree. So on Sunday afternoon, he strung the tree with fairy lights and he had a party. All his neighbours came. They feasted and they laughed and they danced. "What a wonderful apple tree," said Doreen McLean as they waltzed around the garden. "Yes," said Mr. Yizmaz, and he smiled. "I think I will call it a friendship tree from now on." The tree sighed happily. And that story was called The Friendship Tree. Good night, sleep tight, and I'll see you again soon.